Good morning, everyone. All right, so Caddy's just finished. We've got this territory just got towed in. Now, there's a bit of a story on this. Initially, what happened, car had a no start situation. Customer replaced the battery. I believe it started after that. 2 days later, no start again. No crank, no start. Swapped a bunch of relays over. We're not sure what was swapped, and the vehicle started, and then it stalled out 10 minutes later. Got towed to a mechanic who then replaced more relays. We don't know if the relays were put in the wrong spot. We don't know what's happened, but relays were replaced. From there, started 2 days later, no start again. So now we've got it here. We're going to start with basics. So we're starting with fault report on the vehicle. We will then see, once we've done an initial fault report, if it starts, what's going on, and then I think we'll get into this fuse box and start checking relays. If we get it running first up, then we're going to do a charging system test and check everything else. We do have some accessories installed here, so we've got a big power feed wire there running to a rusty old circuit breaker down there. I've got a relay, which I'm assuming is for a light, light bar here as well. I don't think this will have anything to do with it, but we'll see how we go. Alright, so here's our fault report. As you can see, we've got lost communication with the instrument panel cluster module, communication error, bus receiver fault. So what we're going to do, and might be cheating, it might not be, but I'm going to start with the stuff that we see all the time on this generation of Ford, which is cluster issues. We're going to do that. We're going to quickly have a check in the engine bay. He's going to do charging system tests and everything while I get the trims out on this cluster and see if we have any issues with the connector there. Alright, so moving on, we're about 3 minutes in after checking that, doing the fault report. Charging system test, as you can see, we've got 14.7 volts at the battery. I've got about 37 amps going into this battery as well, so charging system can definitely keep up. That's a substantial amount of charge going in here, so that's fine. And we're going to take it from there. I'm going to start looking into some of these relays. There's only so much we can do with problems like this until it acts up. Otherwise, you are sort of, going down rabbit holes quite easily by trying to chase things. If I can't make this vehicle act up, then there's a spot where we have to stop and just drive it and let it sit and try and get it to act up, because we could go down the wrong path quite easily. So we're going to take it from there. We're just checking some common spots for corrosion in these wiring harnesses too. So that's all done. Fault report wise, there's not much else of interest in there, bar the communication faults, that we lost comm with those modules, and I did definitely see that error message come up when I walked past. So we'll see what happens and see how we go. Alright, so we're making slow progress on the territory, or not slow, it's only been about half hour roughly. I'm still really suspect on this instrument cluster. There's a few reasons for that. I can't get the vehicle to act up constantly, but we can get it to reset the faults. We can't get it to not start though, which is the initial complaint. Intermittently, it's setting the comms warning message and the immobilizer message. Now, on Ford systems or on these systems, this cluster is the gateway. So as you can see, we've got the 4 CAN wires on this. Reason being is we've got a medium and a high-speed network. So if we look at the fault report on this car, we've got faults that come up to do with both networks, the medium and the high-speed network. And obviously, considering this is the gateway for them, this is the middle of it all, that is the direction that we're going. So that's what I'm leaning towards. Powers and grounds are good at the cluster. It's not losing a power feed or anything like that. So at the minute, we just want to try and get it to act up again. And we're going to watch that network and see what happens. Alright, so we're acting up. Look at that medium speed network. As you can see, that's dropped out. And what happens is, see if it does it again. Bang, stalls out. What we did there is, there we go, our network's back online, and I reckon it starts and runs. So what's happening is I was communicating with this parking aid module. I tried to clear these 2 faults. The network dropped out. Now, what we've got going on here, if we go back to this diagram, my scan tool's plugged in at this DLC right here. So the scan tool's sending a message that needs to get to the parking aid module, which will go through one side of the instrument cluster. If I can find this parking aid module, where are we? There we go. park assist module there. So this park assist module, our scan tool will communicate up and go down through the cluster to the park assist module, and then that loops back to the other two wires on 7 and 17 there at that junction connector. So considering our terminating resistors in this system are in the cluster and the PCM, I think we're going to have a failing cluster. I would like to find the park assist module and see what happens, and we'll try and get this to act up again as well. So let's quick erase these codes so it'll clear the faults in the park assist module. We'll keep an eye on that CAN network, so that's all the communication going through the cluster. It's cleared out now, so it's all happy again. It actually worked this time. Alright, so what we're doing now, car's going to sleep, car's turned off. I'm getting to the rear parking aid module, which is located in here. The reason we're getting in there is because of this communication network. When we communicated with the parking aid module through the cluster, that's when we had that dropout and the comms fault, and the car would stall out. Other reason I want to get to that before condemning the cluster is because we don't actually have any working rear parking sensors. So put it in reverse, going around the back where all the parking sensors are, they don't work at all. So I'm suspect that that module's faulty. It is possible that the rear module's faulty. You know, my gut's telling me the cluster's faulty, but let's try and get an idea at least of what one, and we can take it from there. Alright, so failed instrument cluster by the looks of it. We've got parking assist module in the rear of the vehicle unplugged, so we are going to have the RSS warning on the dash. But what happened is, once we went through and went to clear codes, we lost medium speed network communication again on the yellow and green trace there, and our IPC module would not reread codes, so our instrument panel cluster lost comms intermittently. That looks like what's going on. This vehicle is going to need a new instrument cluster installed, and we can see what happens from there.